Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Dan Illman, Mike Beer, taking a look at the DRF race of the day for Turkey Day 2023. Graded stakes action at beautiful Del Mar. Let's throw up the field for race number 6. Let's roll out the red carpet for fillies and mares going 1 3/8 on the green on the turf. 8 entered the red carpet, Mike, and it's a pretty evenly matched group, I think. Sister O'Toole loved the Del Mar lawn 2 starts back for Graham Motion, winning the CTT and TOC. It's something Graham has done very well over the years, shipping out west.
Yeah, she's this filly's mare now has won that race twice. She's 2 for 3 out here, Dan. She ran in this race last year and could do no better than 4th. I think she's found a pretty good spot to return and try it again, though, Dan. The distance is a good one for her. She just needs a trip. She likes to sit back and make one run, and so we'll see if this trip works out for her, but I think she's the horse to beat.
Not expecting much pace in this marathon as we throw up the time form US pace projector. The 2 Linda's Gift has tactical speed, and Linda's Gift is stretching out in distance, and those things combined make Linda's Gift a very likely leader against this group, as is fellow stretch out number 5 With Love. But I do think Linda's Gift's going to get to the lead. It's all about whether she'll stay.
Yeah, the distance is a big question. We'll see if she can get the distance and then maybe take one more step forward. Maybe she's done that a little bit since she's arrived in the Mandela barn out in California this year. She'll probably have to improve again, but maybe she just gets the right trip here.
Number 1, Oakhurst is going to stretch back out. She's never been this far in her career, but she was only beaten a length in the American Oaks, going 1.25 miles around this time last year. Her most recent start was a restricted stake. That was at Santa Anita. She kind of gave an even finish after falling far behind, but I have a feeling this extra distance works for her.
I kind of look at it the same way. I mean, it's hard to really get a read about her true distance capabilities, or whatever. Let's just say what distance she prefers, we'll say, Dan, because she's really good going shorter. They only went really long with her that one time in the grade 1. She ran really well in the American Oaks, and you can go back and watch the replay of it. It wasn't the distance that got her beat. She was just a little bit too far away and maybe got clear just a little bit too late in there, but she ran, and the distance was not an issue for her. I also felt like she came back off that layoff in the summer here at Del Mar and that allowance win. She only won by a nose that day. She ran really, really well that day. I really like that performance too. I don't mind her stretching back out, Dan. I'm a fan of this horse. I think this is a good spot.
Yeah, she stormed home to win that race. 3 starts back off the layoff. And then in the maybe, she was in tough while also closer to the pace than usual. Last time out, she finished ahead of a horse that returned to run 3rd in the grade 2 Gold Dacoba. So she was very well from a class standpoint. We'll see how far she wants to go. Same situation for Linda's Gift, a horse that went gate to wire 3 starts back, moving a sprint to a route. Well, this is kind of a sprint to a route for her, 1 mile to 1 3/8. Last time out in the Catherine Crosby, they really were intent on rating her, Mike, and I don't think she loved it.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the plan was there, but it certainly seemed like she resented it a little bit and regressed off of her prior 2 starts, which were both good performances. She showed some talent in New York. Dan, when Weaver had her, I was never really sure how good she was. Maybe she's improved since then. It certainly seems like she has. I think she's got to improve again, but maybe she'll get the distance.
Perhaps the 3 Musical Rhapsody is a little bit of a sleeper in this race for high percentage trainer Phil D'Amato. Distance is not going to be an issue. She conquered it with no problems against weaker horses over the all-weather overseas. And you can make the argument that she was a little bit unlucky in both starts in North America.
Yeah, I think you probably could. I don't really know what to do with this horse, Dan. I get that the distance is a good one for her. They went this distance off the little layoff there back in the summer on this course. I don't know. Troubled trip early, the short comment says. I'll agree with that. She was wound up in a pretty bad position. She did 0 running after that. They tried to make a runner on the final turn of that race. She did not come close. I don't think she passed a horse, and was nowhere through the stretch. I didn't think she ran well at all that day, and she did get wired last time going shorter. But I don't know, man. I'm not sure how good this horse is. I'll wait and see. If she was some kind of big price, maybe I could throw her in there. I'm just not sure she's any good.
As we mentioned in the Open, Sister O'Toole won over course and distance in the CTT and TOC the last 2 years during the Del Mar summer meets, but she's the kind of mare that needs a setup from the back of the pack, and she didn't get it in this race the way last time out at Aqueduct. It was a 4-horse field. The horse on the lead, Idea Generation, carved out a moderate fractions, and then she tried to kick home with McCulloch, who's just better than she is.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, she doesn't run great in here, but it's not a disaster of her performance. She just had too much working against her in a race that was never going to set up well for her anyway. Her prior races are all really good. This is a good distance for her. She'll sit back. She'll make one run. If she gets a clean trip, I think she'll be there at the end.
And number 5 is With Love, and she's stretching out past a mile and a 16th for the first time in her career. Should be up close to the pace. There have got to be some class questions, though. She's still eligible for a now winners at 2 life heat. Second last time out at Santa Anita, and she ran okay behind a horse that came back to run second in the restricted Catherine Crosby with an 83 buyer. You see her on the outside grinding along for second.
Yeah, it certainly looks like she has the running style to maybe stretch out a little bit. She doesn't really have that much acceleration. Maybe she'll just stay on at the end of this race. She's hard to back off of anything that she's done so far on the track, though. Dad, 1 for 11, the only win going 7 furlongs.
Neige Blanche is up next. Distance, no issue for her. She won this race in 2021. She's coming into this off a couple of grade 2 efforts. Last time out in the Rodeo Drive, it was a race where I'm not sure it really set up for her, and it didn't set up for her from a class standpoint. She was in against Didia and Anisette, who were 2 of the better fillies based out in Southern California. The 4th finisher, Closing Remarks, came back to win the Goldacova. Like her stretching out in distance, like her dipping a little bit in class, but I wonder if she's the same mare that we saw late last year, early 2023.
I'm wondering the same things. Although you've already pointed out she's been in a little tough in her last 2 starts, so maybe you don't want to hold those races against her too much. And we'll just see. Sister O'Toole's beaten her, the last 2 times they faced each other, so that's an issue. But this mare will get a better trip generally than Sister O'Toole will. She could be in a really good spot in this race. It's worth noting she won this race 2 years ago, and she did it right on the lead. So don't be surprised if they go forward with her in this race. She's good enough to beat this field.
Looked like Love Ryko, the number 7, was coming into form for trainer Rusty Arnold. A win at a mile and a half at Churchill Downs 2 starts back. Then a graded stakes placing in the Dowager, her most recent start. The Dowager, though, I thought had a pretty solid pace. She was near the back of the pack. She's going to come with a bit of a run, grind up, flatten out late to run third. She went through the auction ring at Keeneland, selling for $375,000 after this race, now with Mark Glatt.
Yeah, I just thought she only ran okay in this race. She does pick up a piece of it at the end here, but it's not like she had some kind of big excuse. She's only 3rd best at the end of the day, and she's the horse. Listen, her last 2 races are both steps in the right direction, so maybe she'll keep going forward and be really tough in this race. But she has no speed. She's going to be way at the back here. She's going to have to outkick some horses, and she may not be the best closer in this race.
Same might be said for the 8th Symphony Perfect, who was an even 6th in the Rodeo Drive at a huge price. Last time out behind Didia, she was beaten by Sister O'Toole in the CTT and TOC, so she has to step it up a bit.
She does. I don't care too much about that last race day. She didn't run great in there, but to me, that was just too tough a spot for her. 2 starts back when she was in against Sister O'Toole, she went pretty well in that race. And to me, she was going to be closer in there. She could have got a little bit of a cleaner trip in that race. And it took her a while to get clear. And then she did run at the end. I think she might be better than she looks on paper.
Before we get to our top selections, please click that subscribe button on the Daily Racing Form YouTube channel for the latest DRF videos. Top pick time for the Thanksgiving Day race of the day, the grade 3 red carpet. Mike, you're going with Oakhurst. She's going to be a good price. And she does kick hard when given the right scenario.
Just want to give her a chance here stretching back out. I'm not concerned about them stretching her out at all, Dan. I think they found a good spot for her here. If she does confirm that she can go this far, I think this is a good spot for them to try it.
I think Sister O'Toole is going to get another setup here. I think the pace will be solid enough for this distance. She's proven herself over at Del Mar, and I just think she gets a better setup than last time where she faced Yielding Going in a very slow pace. I also want to use the 7, though. Those are the 2 I'm going to be concentrating on in the red carpet. Mike's going 1-4-7-6, 4-7-6-8 for me. Thanksgiving Day race of the day. Good luck.